Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AR Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was neglected by his family and had the power of destruction. So, yeah, guys, hopefully, you guys enjoyed the previous part of this series, and if you guys have not seen it, please, guys, check it out. You guys will definitely like it. And yeah, guys, for the next part, the like goal is going to be let's see about it. The same 200 likes and 60 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel and if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be really helpful to me. And yeah guys, I have also put the link of my Instagram within the description below. So please follow me on Instagram as well as the link of my other channel in the description below and watch the videos on that channel as well. So yeah guys, without any further ado, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto was, you can say, getting the hang of his new power as the good and generous people of Konoha were more than happy to, you can say, volunteer for the practice of Naruto's destruction power as Naruto was able to get the hang of his most of his powers as he was able to control the amount of destruction as well as how to simply use this power to empower himself, not destroy anything he touches, as he was able to get that control over his power, while on the other hand, the people of Konoha were now, you can say, getting out of the way of Naruto, as he was not taking shit from anyone, as we saw that in the previous part as Naruto finally grew up to the age of 12 and it was the graduation day where they were given the simple test and after that a small tournament was held to see the next generation of Konoha as a small tournament held in which Naruto had to fight Kiba as Naruto simply called him a dog and threw him into a nearby trash bin as shocking most of the council member and angering the Inuzuka clan, mainly Sum, who had lost her husband in the Kyuubi attack, and her clansmen had attacked Naruto on multiple occasions with their, you can say, dogs as Naruto simply threw the air to the trash bin like he was nothing more than a trash. This sent a message to the council as Soom was not exactly happy. The reputation of her clan was on the line and she has already lost a lot of it as she glared towards Naruto with utter hatred in her eyes. First her husband and now that demon is messing with her clan. She vowed to make him pay, and after that you can say it was fight between Naruto and Sasuke as Fugaku was smirking the Uchiha smirk and showing that how his son was superior, but Naruto simply, you can say, beat Sasuke down quite easily. After all, he was just a weakling in Naruto's eyes. Now the final competition arrived when, you can say, it was a three-way match in which Naruto simply mocked Menma and Naruto when they said that how Naruto was just a loser and nothing more than that, as Naruto reminded them that they actually have never won a fight against them, and if they are so confident in their power, why not wage something? If Naruto were to lose, he will drop out of the Shinobi program, and if they were to lose, they will lose the, you can say, title of the heirs, as Menma and Naruto accepted that in the presence of the whole council as they declare this competition to be a competition for the title of the heir, as Naruto fight against both Menma and Naruto. And let me tell you something, guys, it was a brutal fight. Asarto broke the arms of both Menma and Ruko, shattered their noses, broke multiple bones and ribs in their body, and threw them outside of the ring like they were nothing, destroying the chakra chains of Naruko to the point that she will never ever be able to use that technique ever again. This was one of the aspects of Naruto's training, as we shall say in this part. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys, you can say, enjoyed that part. So let us start the video from here on out, as the council members simply could not believe their eyes, as well as the shinobis and the civilian council members and the civilians that were present there. The so-called demon of the village has destroyed the princess and the prince of Konoha and beat both of them like they were nothing, like trash, and threw them outside of the ring. As Naruto looked toward the whole council as a smirk at that, especially looking towards his parent. Now then, in the presence of the whole council, I think that this match is over, and by the loss of the Konoha, I am hereby the heir of both Uzumaki and Namikaze clan. As he smirked towards Minato and Kushina, who were shocked to see that kind of power coming from their so-called, you can say, son. And Then Kushina noticed the broken farm coming out of her shock as she rushed towards Menma and Naruto as Tsunade started to follow her as well as Jiraiya was glaring daggers towards Naruto as he first felt a bit guilty but then he saw that how it was necessary for Menma and Naruto to complete the the premonition. So he always made some distance between himself and encouraged Minato and Kushina to do so as well. And now seeing Naruto with that kind of power, he never expected that. How is this even possible? Menma and Naruto were trained by Jiraiya, Tsunade, Minato, and Kushina, and they were supposed to be one of the strongest shinobi here in the graduation academy. But Naruto, who was not trained by anyone, was able to defeat them like it was nothing as it angered him and worried him a little as he saw the walking away farm of Naruto as a vision came to his mind the burning farm of Konoha as well as the shinobi world and Naruto on top of it laughing. He had to talk to the great elder toad sage as soon as possible as a small amount of doubt came to his mind. Could it be that he was wrong as he looked towards the broken farm of Menma and Naruto? But he simply shook his head. No, it was not possible. After all, the premonition said the destruction, and Kyuubi is the utter, incarnation of destruction. So it has to be Manma Naruto. Yes, it has to be. Naruto only has the useless soul. It means nothing. As he nodded at that, as he rushed towards Menma and Naruto, and to see as Tsunade was already healing them as she looked towards Minato Kushina. I think that we need to shift them to the hospital. They have multiple broken bones. As Tsunade looked towards Naruto for some time, something was wrong with Naruto. She has felt a strange type of energy going to her back. And something was wrong as she simply shook her head and grabbed both Menma and Naruto and vanishes in a sunshine as Minato, Kushina, and Jiraiya followed suit as the council members were now murmuring among themselves as the elders were now looking towards each other as they gave each other a nod. It seemed that Naruto is a potential asset to Konoha, so it's about time that they start to, push for all those treatment to come to an end. After all, they do not want such a powerful and talented shinobi to hate Konoha, right? As they nodded at that, not knowing that it was already too late for that. But anyways, so they simply nodded and try to, encourage him. After all, he has become an heir, and if he were to go to their side, they will get a lot of political pull over Minato. As they nodded towards each other. Minato, Kushina, Jiraiya, and Tsunade no doubt will try to put all of it under the rug, saying that Myanmar and Naruto were just children and all that. But they would have to enforce the competition and the A title to Naruto as well. It will go greatly for his support in the future. After all, the wealth of the Namakase and Uzumaki clan is nothing to simply scoff at. As they nodded at that and decided to go back to the council room, while on the other hand, Danzo had other plans going through his mind. It seemed that a potential weapon had almost slipped through his fingers. He thought that he was just a useless Shinjuriki, but it seemed that Naruto is indeed talented, especially whatever that kind of energy it was. He has never seen it secretly, even with the Sharingan. He was unable to analyze what kind of power it was. It seemed that the so-called useless Jinchuriki was hiding secrets. Yes, he will be a perfect weapon for the good of Konoha, of course, as Danzo thought in his mind as the council member decided to go to their merry way and for some reason Soom was feeling scared. What kind of energy it was, it scared her. Her instincts were screaming at her that that was an alpha and forcing her to submit to the alpha, but she was resisting as her shinobi training were kicking in against her instincts as she simply shook her head as Kiba has already came out of the unconscious state thanks to the help of Tsunade, and now it seemed that they would have to go back as well as Ruka has already announced the competition to be over, which they never understood how the so-called dead loss was able to win. As but they simply shook their head and decided to go to their merry way, wondering what was going to happen now, since Manma and Ruko in the open challenge has lost the title of the the heir to the Uzumaki and Namikaze clan, while on the other hand Naruto was simply going on his merry way. It seemed that his future, his plans would have to be speed up a little. He did not plan for the whole title thing. To be honest, he did not even care about it. But why not, put the name of Minato and Kushina through rug? Well, that would be really great. and the way he has gotten the title. Minato and Kushina simply cannot take it away from him because it was won in a fair competition and it can only be taken away to and given to Menma and Ruko with a fair competition. As Naruto thought it for some time, they will Jiraiya and Tsunade will definitely start to train Menma and Ruko even further. Kushina will also try to do the same, as Minato would surely be a bit busy, but he will also teach them about the Horizon as soon as possible. And in the coming Chunin exams, no doubt they will try to challenge him. As he smirked at that, he was already thinking of his ways. After all, his plans has to come to start. Maybe in the coming Chunin exam, he should be strong enough and his plans should be coming greatly by that time. Yes, that would be the day he would initiate his true plans and true intentions towards the world as well as the shinobi world. And especially Konoha, as a dark smirk came to his face as his eyes glowed purple for a split second, as he vanishes from the eyes of the shinobis who were following him, the ambush which Minato signaled to follow him like Itachi and Shisui and other ambush as Itachi and Shisui were shocked when the kid simply vanished from their eyes as they had their Sharingan pointed towards him, trying to analyze what kind of energy he had as they had never seen it, and even with the Sharingan, they were not understanding it. And the kid simply vanished from their eyes as Shisui and Itachi looked towards each other and nodded and moved as fast as possible, trying to find the kid once again. While on the other hand, in the hospital room, as Tsunade had just came out of you can say, the room of Menma and Ruko, as she sighed, as she looked towards Minato and Kushina, Kushina, who were now looking a bit worried about their children, as Tsunade speak up. Well, Minato, Kushina, both Menma and Ruko would be alright, do not worry about it. As both of them let out a sigh of relief, especially Jiraiya, as he said, "Are you sure, Tsunade? Nothing is wrong with them." As Tsunade sighed, as she said, "Yes, Jiraiya, nothing's wrong with Menma." But as for Naruko, as she looked towards both Minato and Kushina with a blank expression on her face, as this caught the attention of both Minato and Kushina, as Kushina decided to speak up. What happened to Naruko, Tsunade? Please tell me everything. As Tsunade sighed, "I do not know how to tell you this, Kushina, but something is definitely wrong with her. I have noticed that something was wrong going to her back, and I have noticed something. It seemed that for some reason, Naruko will never ever be able to use her chakra chains ever again." This shocked both Minato and Kushina as Minato decided to speak up. "What are you talking about, Tsunade? How is that possible?" As especially Jiraiya, as he said, "Yes, Tsunade, as it was a Kekkei, it simply cannot be." As Tsunade sighed, "I have noticed the coils to her back. They were somehow damaged to the point where the, you can say, chakra chains could no longer be manifested. Not only that, she would not be able to, you can say, use her chakra chains to her hand because somehow those very chains has been destroyed and they simply cannot be rebuilt. After all, the source of all Kekkei come from one point to another, like Sharingan coming to the eye, and same is the cane with the chains, though you can use it through hand, but their main base is at their back, from where the chains come from, and somehow those points are damaged to the point where I no longer can heal them even with my best expertise. I'm sorry, Kushina, but I do not think that Naruko would be able to use her Kekkei ever again." This shocked both Minato and, you can say, Kushina, as she has never heard of such a thing, as tears came to her eyes, knowing that how much her daughter loved her chakra chains and now she has lost them for some reason, as Minato had a look on his face as he was comforting his wife as Jiraiya greeted his date as he slammed his face to the wall. "Minato, what is the meaning of this? How did Naruto become that powerful? Are you secretly training him?" As Minato simply shook his head, "I do not know, Jiraiya. No, I am not training him. As you already know that there is a great distance between him and the whole family, and we haven't even talked in years now." At this, there was silence in the whole room as Tsunade sighed. "I do not know, Minato, but the level of skill he has shown it, those were really brutal moves. And to be honest, I do not fault him for, you can say, the way he is. But he is powerful. I think that he's a prodigy on the level as same as you, maybe even greater. And he has the Uzumaki chakra chains as well as well as you can say the strength of one. His power is something to be admired, but he's a lot brutal. Look what he did to his own siblings. As Minato nodded at that, to be honest, he does not like to think about Naruto much. After all, the feeling of guilt always came to his mind. As Tsunade gritted her teeth, but still, that does not give him the right to do something like this to his own siblings. As Jiraiya nodded at that, you're right, Kushina. We would need to have a talk with Naruto and make it clear that the whole fight means nothing. Menma and Ruko are still heir to the Uzumaki and Namakase clan, as Tsunade simply looked at Jiraiya with a raised eyebrow, as she simply shook her head. I do not know, Jiraiya. They were given the headband before the whole tournament began, which means that they were truly adults, and therefore, in the whole tournament, they declared it in the presence of the whole council. So it would be tough. The council will try to enforce it, even though they do not like Naruto, but they still will try to enforce it, especially with the, you can say, the daughter of the Fire Daimyo, who will surely tell it to the Daimyo. As Jiraiya gritted his teeth on that, I do not care about that. Minato, you need to have a talk with Naruto. He need to understand his position, and that is beneath Manma and Naruto. As the children of the destiny, they are supposed to be superior to him. So we need to update training as well, so that when the time comes they can fulfill their destiny. I do not know how Naruto got this powerful, but they would he would need to be in check Minato. As Minato was thinking for some time but nodded nonetheless. Do not worry, Sensei. I will have a talk with Naruto. As Kushina nodded at that, anger in her eyes. Yeah, I will have a talk with Naruto as well, as she gritted her teeth and cracked her, you can say, fist a little, as Minato was thinking in his mind about the whole trouble which was going to come. While on the other hand, Naruto could be seen meditating on the top of, you can say, in the forest of death, the largest tree present at the center of it. As Naruto was simply meditating, the aura of utter death and destruction around him was more than enough to scare all the animals that were present in the forest away from him. As Naruto was now meditating, it's about time that he has a chat with a certain fox inside of him. As Naruto closes his eyes, as his eyes open to see the destroyed form of the whole elemental nations, as he was walking at it, he could see the buildings crumbling and the, you can say, stars in the sky being destroyed after one and another. As but Naruto simply ignored it, as he simply walked towards the final area, as he saw the, you can say, the place where the forest, where the Hokage monument was. It was destroyed, but multiple chains were coming from the faces of the Hokages and making a, you can say, a gigantic entity was at the center of it all. As Naruto flew into the sky, and now his eyes met with the, you can say, the eyes of a beast who was now looking towards him. As this was none other than Kyuubi. He was wrapped around with chains all over his body, and he was at the center of the whole Hokage monument place. As Naruto was now looking towards it, as the Kyuubi looked towards him. Well, it seemed that my jailer has finally decided to pay me a visit, huh? As Naruto simply looked towards him. Huh, so you're the Kyuubi no Yoko, huh? Well, as I looked towards him, you do not have your chakra, I see. It seemed that the seal was working well, as Kyuubi growled at that. Do not mock me, human. I am still the Kyuubi no Yoko, even without my power. As Naruto simply looked towards him. Well, Kyuubi, I am here to make a deal with you. As Kyuubi simply looked towards him. What do you have to offer me, human? As I have seen your life, I must say that that power of yours is a lot intriguing, as well as this mindscape of yours. Quite the amount of destruction their present is. So, why are you here exactly? I do not know that you do not need my power, even if I were to have my true power, which I do not have. You do not need it, do you? As Naruto simply chuckled at that. That is right, Kyuubi. I do not exactly need you in my body, not bounded or anything like that. So, I am here to give you just that, what you wanted all over the years. I am here to give you your freedom. As this shocked Kurama, as Kyuubi, as he looked towards Naruto as he narrowed his eyes. Do not mock me, human. Are you not here to say that how you would protect Konoha or some bullshit like that from me? As Naruto raised an eyebrow, and why would I do that? where do you think you're present? As Naruto looked around the destroyed farm of Konoha as Kyuubi narrowed his eyes but nodded nonetheless. He already knew that the kid had no love for his precious home whatsoever, as Kyuubi said. So what do you have to say, human? As Naruto looked towards him, well, Kyuubi, I cannot return you your chakra as you already know that I do not have it, but I am here to offer you something. I am willing to free you and grant you a great amount of power in exchange for you being my summoning animal. As Kyuubi narrowed his eyes. A summon, huh? Well, I do not have my power. And what is this power you talk about, human? And I highly doubt that I would be stronger with this power of yours. As Naruto simply smirked, as Naruto showed him the power of destruction, as a sphere of destruction came to his hand, as I'm willing to grant you this power of destruction. As QB looked towards the energy, to be honest, it gives him a chill. But for some reason, this power was something else, and it was even stronger than his previous chakra as he narrowed his gaze. Accept the situation, QB. The way things are, you will never be able to get your chakra after the death of Menma and Naruto. Konoha will definitely pull the chakra from their body and give it to a new host. Who knows? They might even pull the soul from the body as well, but it will never be given back to you, and you will never be as powerful as you were supposed to be. But with this new power, who knows? In the time, you might be able to kill Menma and Ruko and get your power back from them. As Kyubin narrowed his gaze but nodded nonetheless. Freedom from here in exchange of just being a normal summon. Well, as much as I hate to say it, human, I would have to accept it. After all, this situation from me, as I look around the destroyed farm of the world, is not exactly favorable to me. As not to simply smirk at that, I think that it is the beginning of a great friendship, Kyubi. As Kyubi chuckled, Kurama, you may call me Kurama, human. As not to simply smirk, well, in that case, Kurama, you may call me Naruto. As both of them looked towards each other with smirks as Naruto nodded as he slammed his hand together as the chains that were there started to erode with purple energy shattering into pieces as Kyuubi was free from the whole chains as Naruto's eyes started to glow with purple energy as Kyuubi's eyes looked towards it as it also started to grow as Kyuubi left to take growl something was wrong as something was entering his body all over as he looked around to see purple energy was rushing towards it. As Kyuubi first thought that he was being attacked, but Naruto speak up, relax. That energy is highly dangerous. I need to concentrate. Do not reject it. Accept it as it is. As Kyuubi narrowed his eyes but nodded nonetheless as the energy started to flood his body as his eyes glowed with power as he was shocked. He never had imagined this power felt like. It was like he was the utter form of destruction itself as he let out a, you can say, growl as a roar, as we shook the whole area, as the power which he was feeling inside of his body, his, you can say, skin started to change color into purplish for a moment, but it changed back into its normal form, but his eyes were still glowing with purple energy as Naruto closes his eyes and concentrate even further as more and more destruction energy was entering inside of Kyuubi as Kyuubi let out a final roar. Something was, you can say, was wrong with him as he felt at his back as his eyes widened when a new tail was coming from his back. He was shocked. The amount of power he was feeling, it has already exceeded his previous form power and it was growing more and more and more. And just like that, a tank tail has appeared. It was pure purple tail as inside of his, you can say, other tails as his power was growing even further as two horns started to appear at his forehead, and with the final roar, his body, you can say, shook with purple energy aura surrounding it. His whole, you can say, skin color changed into dark purple as his eyes snapped open to, you can say, show the form of the Rinne Sharingan, but this Rinne Sharingan was not like the eye of the Jubi, like red, no, it was dark purple and it was at the center of his forehead, while on the other hand, his other eyes were dark purple with slit in them, as Kyuubi was shocked Never, ever in his whole existence of over 2000 years, he has ever felt this powerful. And he never thought that he would be able to become this powerful. He always thought that he was the strongest being in the whole world. But he always knew at the back of his head that if Jubi were to be present, he would be the strongest Biju. And now he has exceeded his previous form power. He had a 10 tail. He was the new Jubi of the world. And the eye at his forehead proved that it seemed that whatever this power was has pushed his body to its maximum limit and exceeding the latent potential to awake the power of the Jubi as well as especially the Rene Sharingan in his forehead as his eyes, his power was beyond from this world. As he looked towards the human which was floating there, looking towards him with, you can say, a look on his eyes, as for the first time after the death of his father, he felt respect and fear for a normal human being, as Naruto simply smirked. Well, I never expected that, huh? Well, it seemed that my power was able to awaken your latent potential as well. Now, Kyuubi, well, I should say Jubi, right? As, or you would prefer Kurama, as Kurama simply looked toward the human and looked towards his back to see the 10 tails floating in the mid-air as he grinned toward the human. You may call me Kurama, my lord. As Naruto was taken aback from that, as but he simply looked towards him. Well, it seemed that Jubi has finally realized his true place and acknowledged the power of Naruto and accepted him as his new master. As Naruto simply smirked, as I said before, you may call me Naruto. And for your freedom, as Naruto looked towards him, as before Naruto could say anything, as Kurama speak up, if you may permit me, my lord, Naruto-sama, as I would like to remain in your body for some time, and in the future you can say reveal myself to be the new Jubi and your summon in the world. As Naruto thought it for some time, he could release him, but he knew that the other nations will try to attack him, thinking that it's a new, you can say Biju, seeing that it was dark purple and it has 10 tails. So for now, it would be okay for him to remain here. After all, now he is back to his full power and even exceeded that as Naruto thought it for some time but nodded nonetheless. Alright then, Jubi and Kurama, whatever you like to call yourself, you are going to remain inside of my body for some time, and the near future, when my plans start to begin, you may reveal yourself to be the new king of the Bijus and the strongest of them all. They will fear you and respect you as the strongest summon out there and the strongest creature beside me, of course. As Kurama simply nodded at that, as he had a grin on his face, he couldn't, you can say, wait to show his new power to these humans who dare to split his power away from him and after that make him a prisoner. But it seemed that they have underestimated his lord, and now the world shall know the power of the Lord of Destruction. As he smirked towards Naruto, who simply nodded and vanishes from the mindscape. While on the other hand, a council meeting was being held by, you can say, the whole council members, as the whole council was present as they had just finished about the teams. As Minato speak out, well, the team 7 should be Menma, Namikaze, Naruko Uzumaki, and Sasuke Uchiha. At this, Fugaku simply nodded at that, even though he was still angry with his son for losing and being shocked at that. But he was looking towards Minato keenly, knowing that a topic was going to come, and Minato was just pushing it. You can say knowing full well and try to delay it all. As finally the whole thing was present, as you can say, before Minato could speak further, as Koharu speak up, well, Lord Hokage, that is all well and good, but before you announces the next team, we would need to discuss something. As as Minato looked towards her with an angry look on his face, as well as a resigned look, knowing full well that he simply cannot delay this topic any further. But before Koharu could speak up, one of the civilian council members stood up. Well, Lord Okage, we want to discuss something with you as well. It seemed that even with our best efforts, as they look towards each other, and we have a threat on our village, and It seems that it has gotten a lot powerful. We will need to deal with this threat as soon as possible, otherwise, it will become a danger for the village. We demand that this threat to be put in, and this threat has become a shinobi, but we demand that he will be dropped out of the shinobi program as soon as possible. At this, you can say Minato looked towards them, knowing full well what they were talking about. As one of the fat members speak up, yes, Lord Hokage, we would like to say sorry, but it seems that Naruto Uzumaki is becoming too powerful and he is not, you can say, respecting our authority. It seems that we will need to put him his true place and all that. But before he could say anything, Koharu speak up, well, Lord Hokage, I would like to disagree with that. This shocked most of the council members. After all, the elders were the greatest supporter of the civilian council member for punishing Naruto and all that things for the crimes of Kyuubi and all the other bullshit they already knew in their heart it was. As Minato looked towards her, what do you mean by that, Koharu? As Hamura speak up, well, Lord Hokage, as you already know that Naruto Uzumaki, your son, has become a shinobi, so therefore we would like to remove the law of civilians attacking him with the no, you can say no consequences on themselves. After all, he's a shinobi of the village as well as he's the heir to the both Uzumaki and Namikaze clan. As this you can say surprises Minato, but he narrowed his eyes before he could say anything. Jiraiya speak up. Well, elder, perhaps you're mistaken about one thing. As Naruto Uzumaki is not the heir to the Uzumaki and Namikaze clan, as that you can say match was not exactly sanctioned by the Hokage. As Koharu smirked, well, Jiraiya, perhaps you've forgotten, both Menma and Naruto had their headbands, so therefore they were perfectly adults when they make that challenge, and it became null and void when the Hokage did not step in the match and stopped it if he, and thus he allowed it to happen, thus making it sanctioned in the presence of the whole council. As Jiraiya gritted his teeth, he hated that his godsons would be sad and he was trying his best to stop it and so that Menman Naruko could have their rightful title as the heir, as well as Hamura speak up. He's a talented shinobi, Lord Hokage. We do not want him to, you can say, discourage his loyalty to the village by people attacking him constantly with no repercussions, and he is powerful, as you can already see. We do not want some, you can say, accidents to happen in the future, so therefore we appeal for the whole law to be removed from the place. As Minato thought it over for some time, even though he had tried several times to remove the law. After all, as much as he, you can say, tried to distance himself from Naruto, he was still his son, but his duty as the Hokage always came first. So he allowed the law to happen when the council did not approve of it and did not step in to protect him. At this, one of the civilian council members stood up. What are you talking about, Hamura-sama? You already know that the demon is becoming more of a threat. Look what he did to the prince and princesses of the Konoha, and he's becoming more and more disrespectful to our authority. We need to put him in his true place. I vote for him to be put in reserves, if not thrown out of the shinobi program. As Minato thought it over it, as the whole council chamber erupted into chaos. As Minato thought it over for some time, he knew that Naruto was now the appointed heir of the Uzumaki and Namikaze clan. There's nothing he could do to change that. After all, he knows the law as well, and the council will definitely not approve of it. And on top of it, the council was demanding him to put him in the reserves, if not thrown out of the whole program. He know that he cannot do that about throwing him out because there was no legal reason, and that will only discourage his loyalty, as the elder said. But putting him in the reserves, the teams were already made, and there was one person more to add. What should he do? Should he put him in the reserves? That will definitely give him some time to train Man Ruko for the next competition. He knows that which is coming. And he started to think over it and finally made his decision. Naruto was a wild card and he was not too loyal to the village. After all, the village has attacked him on several occasions, and one day, if he becomes too powerful, he can definitely become a threat. And he was the Hokage, he needs to protect his village. So he made his decision to put Naruto in the reserves for now, and so that he could test his loyalty. And if he were to become a threat, then he will fulfill his duty as the Hokage and execute him. As he nodded at that, he was about to say, you can say, silence. as the whole council room silenced with the killing intent of Minato as Minato decided to speak up as he said, well, as for the case of Naruto Uzumaki, even with the impressive, you can say, show of power, he is still the dead last of the academy. And since there are a odd number of the whole management, I have decided to put Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze as they look towards the elders, the heir to the both Uzumaki and Namikaze clan in the reserve. But before he could complete his sentence, the door slammed open as you can say the royal guards of the fire daimyo entered. This surprises the whole council as they stood up at that as the messenger finally stepped forward and kneeled in front of Minato, Lord Hokage. We are here at the request of the fire daimyo. He has given orders to give this scroll to you. As Minato was now surprised at that, but he nodded nonetheless as a shinobi delivered the scroll to Minato. As Minato started to read it, as he was shocked after some time, his eyes were widened as he looked toward the other scroll and opened it as his shocked expression turned into that of, you can say, into a resigned expression as he sighed as he looked toward the royal guards who were now looking towards the Hokage as Minato gave them the greetings and all that and sent them on their merry way for the restaurant as Minato looked toward the council as he sighed as before he could say anything Hamura speak up Lord Hokage what was on those letters. We would like to know that as the council as Minato sighed as he said, well, it was congratulation letter from Lord Hokage to me about the passing of my children from the academy. And not only that, as he looked toward the councils who were waiting, knowing that a but was to come, as he was, you can say, he has written in his letter that he would like to see his eldest son Naruto Uzumaki to fight in the Chunin exams. And after all, his daughter was a lot impressed with that and on the second letter, it was a marriage contract with my son to his daughter. This shocked most of the council members as Kushina speak up Minato-kun Menma-kun is not ready for the whole that, and you know that Menma had already. As Minato shook his head, Kushina, it is not about Menma. It is a marriage contract between Naruto and the Fire Daimyo daughter. It seemed that she has started to like Naruto after seeing him fight in the whole tournament and had a crush on him. And seeing that he's the son of the Hokage, the Fire Daimyo is more than happy to make this contract as this shocked most of the council members as the civilian council members were at you can say no pale knowing that the Hokage simply cannot refuse such a marriage contract. It was not in his power. If he were to refute it, then this will cause trouble for the whole village. And Fire Daimyo has written himself that he would like to see the talent of this young man in the coming tournament of the Chunin exams. And this threw Minato's plan about the whole putting him reserves out of the window. There was no way he could, you can say, give explanations after that. After all, the fire daimyo royal guards were present there as well as the daughter of the fire daimyo. She would have told him and Minato would not be able to, you can say, refute their claims and make some excuse as he sighed inwardly, knowing that there was nothing he could do at this point as he looked towards, you can say, all of the civilian council member and the shinobi council present. So you guys already know we would have to prepare a team for Naruto Uzumaki. This Tomuro guy is hereby put in the reserves as he stood up and decided to leave the whole room. You can say leaving pissed off and you can say civilians and the shinobi council members who were now thinking of their approach to the kid. Now that if he were to become the son-in-law of the fire daimyo, then the daughter of the daimyo when started to rule, he will become the king of the fire nation and that would cause trouble for them and there was nothing they could do about it. It seemed that they would need to change their behavior to him if they do not want the political, you can say, trouble in the future with the fire daimyo of the whole nation as they saw inwardly and the plans were already being made for their heirs to become close friends to this demon, previous demon now, as they thought in their mind. As Minato finally arrived to his office through his, you can say, flying Raijin along with Kushina, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. As Jiraiya slammed his fist into the nearby wall as he said, "Damn it, Minato, can't you do anything? That council member, as much as I hate to say it, he was right about Naruto. He does not have any loyalty to the village, and we are just giving him a chance not to become just a shinobi and the fire daimyo, son-in-law. You know that fire daimyo do not have a son. His daughter will rule, and he will become a king. Damn it, Minato. As you simply cannot allow it. As Minato sighed, as he said, I do not know, Jiraiya. You know as well as I that I simply cannot refute such a decision. It is by name just a contract. You and I both know that it is a written order by the fire daimyo for Naruto to become his, you can say, son-in-law in the future. Nothing could be done about it. As Jiraiya scoffed at that, as he said, Minato, there is something, at least something we can do about the situation. As after all, Menma is more than, you can say, qualified enough to become the son-in-law of the fire daimyo, right? As you can at least try to, you can say, change his opinion about the situation and say that how Naruto is just a disappointment, a plate to your name or something like that, so that he could change the contract to name Menma, right? As Minato thought it for some time, but he sighed before he could say anything as Tsunade scoffed. Well, be real, Jiraiya. You and I both know that that would never work. After all, the Fire Daimyo loves his daughter too much, and his daughter has seen Naruto beating Manma to the ground with a broken nose, broken teeth. That does not give great expression to the young mind of that girl, and she will never like him, and the fire daimyo will never accept the contract. I bet that she has already told stories about how weak Menma and Ruko are and how powerful Naruto is, like a hero or something bullshit like that. And Jiraiya gritted his teeth. Of course he knew that, but he was trying to get a way out of it. Menma and Naruto has lost the title of the Namakase and Uzumaki heirs. This was a lot of trouble. He would need to protect the whole destiny thing. Otherwise, the world shall know destruction, and Menma and Naruto are its savior. He would have to do something, even if he had to kill Naruto by himself. He would do it to protect Konoha as well as the whole premonition and destiny. Yes, a dark plan was already coming to his mind, and things are going to play soon enough as Minato sighed. But one thing is clear, Jiraiya. Now that the royal gods are here, people simply cannot keep grading towards Naruto and attacking him. If the fire daimyo were to hurt something like this, we would be in a lot of trouble. So I hereby using my authority to overrule council and removing the law which you can say proclaimed that Naruto could be attacked anytime without any consequences as Jiraiya greeted his state. But he did not say anything knowing that their hands were tied at the moment. But soon enough, he will get rid of Naruto. He did not thought much of him, but it seemed that he was becoming a real big threat to his plan for the, you can say, for the future of Myanmar and Naruto, as plans were already coming to his mind as Kushina had, you can say, a bit of relief on her mind, but still a lot of pressure at the same time. After all, her son has finally could live a good life, but she finally realized that there was little to no relationship between her and Naruto, and he probably hated her just like he hated his siblings, as those were the thoughts were going through Kushina's mind as Minato already had many things on his mind. His duties as the Hokage were already fighting against his fatherly instincts, but he was the Hokage and he will protect Konoha no matter what. So yeah guys, here I will left this part. Hopefully you guys like it. In the next part I would like your suggestion, because to be honest I did not think of any, you can say, pairing for this series, but if you guys like I could, you can say, do something about it. So it is mainly up to you guys. Tell me in the comment section, and you can say, for the next part, the like goal is 200 likes, 60 comments, and yeah guys, subscribe and like the video. So yeah guys, tell me in the comment section about your plans for the next part. I would like to add them. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys like it. So peace.